Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Harika. So officially this will be the last tutorial on the data service. So we have seen everything, all the activities along with examples and the step-by-step explanation of the activities that are related in the data service. And this is going to be something very much interesting because this is something related to files. So when we are doing some actions with the data, there are chances that we may come up with uploading files or downloading files or deleting files, mostly the summary reports or the input reports that we download, or the report something which we have to delete. So in that case, this will be very much useful as per my experience. So I feel this is the best part of till now whatever we have seen with respect to data service. So now without any delay, let me just show you a small demo of what we are going to learn in this video. So for which I am taking the employee details entity, which you're familiar from the previous videos. So if you're someone who is watching this video without having the prior knowledge of the videos that are there in the data service, I would suggest you please do watch the previous videos. Then this would be clear for you in terms of understanding. So first of all, what I'm going to do, if you see here, I have a field called resume. So this particular field has a data type which is an file. So this is of data type file. So what exactly I'm going to do, I'm going to run this workflow, and this workflow will upload the resume of this particular employee, Monica. So let me just debug it. And respectively, it should upload the resume for all the employees. So it should be for Monica resume should upload here, Chandler resume should upload here, Joey resume should upload here. So in the same way, all the resumes should get uploaded and reflect over here once after this workflow gets executed. So that's how the workflow is designed. So let's see, once after it starts running, I can show you. Yeah. So that particular uploading portion is done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to refresh it. So if you see monica.pdf, so these are the resumes against each employee that are there. So this is how we can do. And after that, the next workflow corresponds to the downloading of the resumes. Okay. So before to that, I'm gonna make sure that I have a breakpoint here. So I'll just hit on continue. You should download all the resumes from that data service and should store in my local with the names. Okay. So let's execute this and see. Okay. So let's go to the project folder, refresh this. So we can see I have got all the resumes. So let's do a search here for PDFs. So we can see all the resumes have been displayed here, which are downloaded from the data service, right? And now the next workflow is to delete that particular files. Okay, so let's hit on continue. Just go over here, and once after that gets executed, take off the breakpoint. So if I do a refresh, it should delete. So if you see, it's getting deleted all the PDFs that are there against each employee. So we can see the changes are getting reflected over here. So let me go over the data service. So we can see all the resumes were deleted. So this is how we can actually use a data service in order to do a bulk upload of the files or download of the files from the data service, or if you wanted to delete certain files. So let's go ahead and try to recreate this workflow. So for that, let me take a sequence. Okay, it's quite simple. Based on our requirement, we just have to do whatever is necessary. So for that, I'm going to take the file activities from the data service. So firstly, we are going to see how we can upload the files into the record field. So if you see what is the input and output, it's just the basic drill that we all actually do for every time. So firstly, we have to take the entity type. So what is the entity type? Make sure that whatever the entity you're taking, that has a field of file. Okay, so let's say if I'm taking invoices, if you go over the field, it doesn't have a field of type which is a file, right? So you cannot upload a file in that. So make sure that you already create a field in the entity that has a data type file. So I have my student, sorry, that's an employee details, and it has a field called resume. So I'm selecting that over here. So here I have to pass a record ID and then the file path. So what is the record ID exactly mean? So if you just hover here, you can see the ID for the record from the data service. So we all know whatever the fields that we are inserting has a unique ID, right? So we can get the ID of that particular record. So how we can do that? Let's do a small query. So we've been using the query entity record in all the videos before we actually perform the main activity. This will fetch you the records by filtering whatever is needed based on the query. So on which we are performing query, employee details. And I'm going to write a query where, so what query we can write over here. So let's go and check it here. So for all employees, I'm going to upload this particular resume. So I'm going to take where employee name, employee name is not empty. That means it will return all the employees that are there. Okay. So for all employees, okay, this is the variable that I've created. Oh, what is wrong with this? Okay, good. Something is really weird. Cool. Again, some error I could see. Let's delete this and let's keep this one here. Okay. Fine. So it's gonna give all the employees. So what I have to do for each employee in that list. So we know that, right? It gives a list of employee details that are there in that particular entity. So I'm going to take all of them and I'm going to upload the file. So let's pull this over here. So these are the small basic things that we're doing in every video. So just have to understand what are the changes that we have to do and just keep everything in line. Employee details, right? So we are passing the employee details, and for each employee, okay, let's consider in this way. For each employee, we are uploading the details. So here what has to be passed? The ID of the employee that is unique, right? I'm taking employee.id because at each time we are picking one record. Here it means one record we are picking, and from that record I'm taking the unique ID. I can show you while debugging this. And what file path that you wanted to provide. So let's say if you want to upload the file, which file it has to pick it from the local. So that's what it actually means. So it has to be with respect to the name of the employee, right? So what I'm going to do, at every time what is the record that's running, from that record I want to first pick name of the employee. Okay, what is the name of the employee? And I wanted to concatenate it with a PDF. Okay, so what I can do, string.concat. Okay, string.concat, and I'm gonna give .pdf. So it will pick this particular file from the local and it will upload it into the studio. So what is this output record? If you just hover here or go to the properties and check. So the updated record from the data service. So let's say after uploading the file, it will have an updating value, right? What is the record name and what is the ID, what is the name of the employee, and the field will also, the resume field will also get updated. So what is the value of it? You can see in this particular output record. So you can give updated record value. It will be of the type employee details. You can just see here, right? Perfect. So now what I'm going to do, let's put a breakpoint here. Just execute this. This will upload all the files into the into the data service. But before to that, I'm going to show you step by step at each step what is the corresponding value we are getting. So here we can see all the files are deleted. So now first monica.pdf has to be uploaded. So it's getting executed. The process has started. And here we can just check during the runtime what's the employee.id and all these fields. Okay, so it has stopped here. So let's go to what is there in employee. So if you just see, it has queried all the records and it will be saving in all employees, right? So it should have all the employee details that are there in the service data service. So let's see. It should be 7 as per the data service count. Okay. As per here, it should be 7. And what is the employee value? It's a record. So it should be first record. So if you see, employee name is Monica, right? So now I'm going to fetch the ID of this particular employee D142, which is unique, this value. Okay. So here employee.id, which goes as an input for the record ID. It's very slow. Okay, so D142, and now this is going over here and this particular resume field will be uploaded with this path. So what is this path? I'm having the value over here, this monica.pdf. This resume will be picked and PDF file will be picked and uploaded over there. So if you see here, as of now, resume value is null. You can see over here, and after I hit on step into, this updated record value will be having some value over resume. So let's do that. First, let's check the sorry, where is this Monica here, right? Let's refresh it. We can see monica.pdf, this got updated, and let's also check the updated record value. Okay, it's null because it has come out of it. So we can just check after it is inside. Go and see. So chandler.pdf. So like this, all the values of that particular employees which are there as per the query. So we've got actually 7 values. So all the values will be all the resumes will be uploaded as per this. Okay, I'm just taking off the breakpoint and hitting on continue. So by end of this execution, we will see all the files are getting uploaded into our data service. So just do a refresh. Perfect, right? Everything has come as per the name of the employee. So this is how we can do an uploading. So now let's see how we can do a download. It's very simple. It's quite simple, just like how we have done the upload. So I can just take the same and just modify this a bit. I'll put a comment over here, and then I will click download file from record field. Okay, so I'll just pull this activity into my for each loop. What's wrong? It's very slow. I'm not sure what's wrong with my studio. So I'm going to download. So it's just the same like how we have done earlier, but something's gonna change. Excuse me. So I'm going to use the employee details, and I'm going to download the resume field, and it's just the same employee.id. Okay, and once after you download, what is the part of the file that you wanted to save as in your local? So that's what it this field actually mean. So here also I wanted to provide the same name as per the name of the employee. So I'm gonna give string.concat or whatever the name that you wanted to save it as. Okay, so string.concat employee.employee name, and you can just concat it with a PDF so that it can be saved in a PDF format. I can see a lot of delay. Employee name. Okay, and then I'm gonna concat it with a PDF. So that's how my file will be saved as. So before to which, let's delete all the files that I have in PDF. Okay, perfect. Okay, done. So yeah, so it will download all the files. So let's execute this. Nothing much change, just whatever you wanted to change this as, just that part, and then just run this file. And it's clear, right? We don't have to go for a debug here because it's pretty straightforward, like how we have seen in the previous example. But it won't delete the file, it just keep a copy in the local. So there's nothing that we can observe in this particular data service for this particular activity. So once after it gets executed, we can see all the files over here. Okay, so these are the files that new files got generated into our local. So that's one thing about the download. So let's comment this out as well, and let's look at the deletion part. So now for deletion, it is also quite similar. That's why I have explained the first one very clearly by running it in the debug mode, because all other things remains mostly the same if you understand the other parts. So I'm gonna choose the entity employee details, and then the record ID and the field. Here I'll show you what will be the output record. Before to that, what is the employee record ID dot ID, and then just take the field as resume. Okay, field name is resume, and here the output field, it's the what after deleting, what will be the values of it. Okay, fine. So let's put a breakpoint or log message after each deletion so that I can just show you the value of it, which we couldn't see in the earlier which is uploading. Okay, So cool. So deleted the file. Right, it is pretty clear and straightforward. I'm gonna delete this files. Okay, so just debug and then execute. So after this video, I'm going to start a project on the data service. So we will pick a small project and we'll try to see how we can implement all the activities by using them as per the project level. So let's see this part. This would be the last video or last tutorial video on the data service. So I'm going to delete the ID for that particular record. So if you see the output records now, so if you see, the resume has become null again, right? So that's how we can do. And let's check the values here. This has to be deleted, right? Perfect. And let's do a continue for all the items. I'm going to take off the breakpoint because it just be the same. It won't continue. Here we can see it deleted 3 files, 4, 5, and the last one is going to be getting deleted. Yes, it's done. And let's go over there and check. It has deleted all the files. So that's it. That's about the file activities. I feel it's pretty interesting going over this. This is quite simple when compared to all other activities that we have seen in the data services. And you can also explore it. You can create an entity by yourself with all the different data types and the fields of different data types, and you can just explore by doing multiple things on hands-on. And if you find any question or the different scenario, you can just let me know in the comments and I'll try to answer. And if I feel it's useful for others, I'll try to make a video on it. And as I said to you, I'm going to pick up a small project on the data service and provide a small use case kind of experience on the data service. So to not miss any of the further videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also, if you like the videos, do hit the like button. And thank you so much for watching.